Well, as an electrical engineer, I always thought I would work on chips and work for a chip company, but then I came to work for an aerospace company, an airplane company, and for me, for whatever reason, it just never dawned on me that I could. And so I say I was really, really fortunate that I had some really good leadership, really good managers that I worked under. So I don't think I really struggled. I think the struggles that I had were mainly internal. As a Latino, a lot of times you grow up and you get a sense that people are against you, or there's things out there that influences and prejudice and things like that that are going to be barriers that you have to go through. And I grew up with that, always thinking that in my mind. And so when I got into industry, I kind of feel like at first it was really just kind of dealing with my own perceptions of how things are. Are people looking at me funny? Are they thinking that I'm not as talented as my counterpart over here because I am Hispanic or because I am Latino? And it took me a while to realize that if you're in the right place in the right time, which I was, again, I was very fortunate, none of that really matters that much. And so it was really more of the boundaries I put on myself that I struggle with. And that was something that I did see in school. I remember thinking in school and always looking around and thinking to myself, oh, okay, I'm in a classroom and I'm the only one that's Hispanic here. And then, I can imagine how the women felt, because there was maybe just a handful of women as well. But it was kind of that self view of things that, okay, I'm putting a burden on myself that made myself kind of struggle even more. And I'll never forget that I was in one class and I had a gentleman, young kid, he's a kid, I was a kid, we were just talking, and, I was telling him that I was really struggling with the work, and, it's really tough, and I really don't have anybody who wants to work with me because, I'm Hispanic, and, I'm assuming that people just kind of look at me differently. And he kind of looked at me like, yeah, I didn't even know you were Hispanic, because I looked very white and very, very güerito, and got the green eyes. And I just kind of thought to myself, I wonder how much of this is just self-imposed, and from that point forward, I kind of realized that, okay, I can make it be something that is going to be something that holds me back, or a barrier. But it's really more of how I looked at myself rather than it was how others looked at me. And I've gotten that as I started, growing up, going through college and working in the professional world. I've had those instances where folks are like, well, what, you're Hispanic, really? And then I can go to the north and they'll be like, oh yeah, you're Hispanic. Yeah, I can see, you're Hispanic. And so it just depends where you are, and being that, I always say, me and my wife always say we grew up coconuts, we're brown on the outside, white on the inside. I don't, my parents didn't teach me Spanish, and so I don't have a accent or anything like that. But those are the type of things that I don't know, somehow I just felt like, there was a barrier there, or that people saw me a certain way. Once I realized, well, I was kind of creating those barriers myself, I was able to get through it. And there's still other barriers there. I can look at the company now, and there is still some of that. Some people, it's evident that they want to hire somebody that looks like them. They want to hire somebody who acts like them. They want to hire somebody who reminds them of themselves. But that's where, I think we all are developing and trying to learn and say, okay, I got to look past that and, look deeper into people and look into, who they are and where they come from. Exactly how you say, I may know people, but do I really know them, what their background is, what is that diverse background they come from? And so, that's something in my professional career that I've always really promoted, that you really need to take the time to understand and learn where people come from, because you can come from the same city, you can be the same races and things like that, but you can still have a diverse background.